let's do with the aid of Allah the training, the IELTS training, and we are going to start with the reading, which needs some work. And reading and listening are not skills that you can make up for. You got me? Like, you cannot make up for with only techniques. You need to master them, and you need to have a certain level of listening and reading in order to start doing the training, the IELTS training itself, which I already assume you have the required amount of reading skills. But yeah, let's master some of the techniques that will help us to pass the exam, inshallah, and get a high grade. Like most IELTS takers, they depend more on reading and listening for getting more grades, because I think they are much easier than the others, but when done correctly. So let's get to know the exam structure firstly. And overall, the duration of the exam is 60 minutes. It's all the time you get for the exam, and you will have 40 questions to answer. You have to read and answer questions and answer 40 questions during these 60 minutes. And what you're going to read are 3 reading passages, long 3 reading passages, and their difficulty increases from passage 1 to 3. So it's a gradual difficulty. It starts from the first one is typically easier than the others. Then the second passage is going to be a little bit more difficult. The third one will be the most difficult. You will have 60 minutes and you will have 60 questions, and you will have to write your answers on the answer sheet, because you are not going to write them on the exam paper. You will have an answer sheet, and on this answer sheet you have to transfer your answers to it during the 60 minutes themselves. You will not have extra time. And so we have to keep this in mind, and 3 passages. For the text types, for the IELTS academic IELTS, which is the one you are taking, you will have academic articles, topics from science, history, environment, technology, social issues, and most probably the passage 2 and 3 are going to be unfamiliar to you. There will not be normal topics that you see on day-to-day life. Okay, so the scoring. How does the scoring work? And you have here each correct answer will have 1 mark. You'll have 40 questions, and the total is 40. The total marks for the reading. So each correct answer equals 1 mark, and there is no penalty. There is no minus. So these are going to be converted into a band score. So for example, if you got 30 out of 40, you will get band 7 for the reading. Okay, for the reading section, you're going to get band 7. And if you got 34 right out of 40, this is going to get you band 8, for example. Okay, or for 36 to 38, that's going to be 8.5. Okay, not 36, 37 and 38 out of 40, that's 8.9. Here, if you got 39, like if you got 1 wrong, then you got the full band, the band 9. Either you get 39 or 40, that's band 9. Okay, this is the full grade, the highest band you can get in IELTS. So there are question types, and this is where all the work should be done. The question types are what matters, and some of them are tricky. So you must know all of the question types before you go into the exam room. Okay, so you will need to know everyone and how to handle each one of them, the question types. So we'll get here like 10. There are like 10, yes, 10 question types. The multiple choice example. So you'll have to choose like A, B, C, or D from the answers. You'll have a question and then answers with A, B, C, and D. Next, you will have true, false, not given. This is very common and very tricky. All right. True, this means the statement agrees with the text that you read. And the false, text says the opposite, and not given, there is no information. And this is the trap. This is why most students or most IELTS takers get lower grades because they mistake not given for false. You have to be careful that sometimes the information itself doesn't exist, so that doesn't mean it's false. It means it's not given. So yes, no, no, yes, no, not given. This is the same as true, false, not given. But we have to make sure that what the question said exactly. If the question says true, false, not given, and then we put yes, no, not given, this is going to be wrong, okay? Or the contrary. Matching headings. So you will need to match the paragraph to a heading. You're going to be given a heading, and then at which paragraph does this relate? Paragraph A, paragraph B, paragraph C, for example. Okay, matching information is kind of similar to matching headings, but this tests your paraphrasing skills, whether you can paraphrase sentences, whether you can understand different meanings. So you'll have to match information or match statements to paragraphs. Matching features works the same as well, but here you will match people, you'll match items, people, theories, dates, okay, to statements in the test or in the passage. The sentence completion. Sentence completion, you'll have to complete sentences using words from the text. Okay, so you'll have a sentence, there is a gap in the sentence, in the middle, at the beginning, in the middle, or at the end, and you will have to fill it from the passage. Yeah, there is always, or most of the time, there is word limit, okay? So they are going to write, for example, no more than 2 words, no more than 1 word. You have to read carefully what the question says. Number 8, we have summary, note, table, or flowchart completion. You'll have a flowchart complete, okay, fill gaps with text words from the text, and you may have a word list or no list. Okay, so they may give you word list over there that you have to choose from them and fill the gaps, and they may not. The short answer questions, you will have, it's like the normal questions we got in the past in our school or university, but the answers sometimes or most of the time they will give you strict word limits to your answer. So it might be tempting to write a long answer to the question, but they will give you strict word limits, most probably from 2 to 3, okay? No more than 3 words, no more than 2 words. And grammar matters here. You have to use the correct grammar, accuracy matters, and all of this stuff. And so the diagram label completion, which is rare, but you may get one. Okay, so you'll have to label parts of a diagram. You'll get a diagram, and you have to label them to write the description, the names, and this stuff, labeling the diagram. So they are important rules. Answers appear in order. So you have to keep this in mind. Like imagine we got a question true, false, and not given. And so we looked at the first paragraph, and the first question was there at the top of the paragraph. So the second question will be below that one, okay? So you'll have to ignore the rest of the paragraph there, up there. It will go in order. The questions will go in order. But not for all of the question types. For the matching headings or matching information, because they are actually testing your ability to match, your ability to find information quickly, your ability to paraphrase. So these are not given in order. The questions, the matching headings and matching information, the first question might be in the third paragraph, and the second question can be in the first paragraph. So you have to pay attention to this. But other question types, you'll be given the questions in order. Yeah. So exact spelling matters, especially the reading. Let me say the reading, when you know the techniques and if you learned how to manage the time correctly, you master the skills required. Really, believe me, you can get a very high grade. You can get 8.5, 8, easily. So Exact spelling matters. You have to pay attention to your spelling when you are answering in the short answer questions, or even filling gaps. And grammar also matters. You have to make sure you're answering correctly, like no ing to a verb that doesn't take ing in that place, for example. Yeah, even if it's correct and the grammar is wrong, that's going to be false, okay? That's going to be cross. So even if your answer is correct, but the grammar or the spelling has an issue, then there is no half in the odds, okay? Like, he's not going to give you half. It's either correct or wrong. So anything matters. No penalty, as we said, for wrong answers. If you got a question wrong, there is no minus, okay? So what should we do during the test? When we are in the test right now, in front of the test, or the test is in front of us. So what should we do? First, we read the title and any headings first. We read the title of the passage, which maybe the title itself can be confusing or a new word. It could be one word, but we don't know what is it, because it could be maybe a medical name, an engineering name or stuff, scientific, or it could be the name of something, just something, or a city or something that we don't know. So we don't have to panic if we see something, if we see the title that is unfamiliar to us and that completely new to us. We should not panic. We should go directly to the topic, inside the topic, and we will know how to deal with the topic. Make predictions. We're gonna know what does that mean. Look over the questions quickly. You have to take a look at the questions, not a long look, because you don't have time. You just have to be quick to take a look, to identify keywords, and then go back to the passage. Make predictions about content and organization. So you have to predict the context, the content of the passage, like where is it taking me? Where is this paragraph taking me to in the passage or in the topic? Okay, and the order also of the ideas in the topic. And you have to read the passage at normal speed, but let's even doubt this. Not all the time you will have to read the passage. Okay, you won't have to read all the passages, because you won't have time for that. You will know how to deal with it. However, if you are reading even part of the passage and you got stuck, done. So just simply don't get stuck on parts or words you don't understand. If you don't understand a word, skip it. If you don't understand a complete line, skip it. When you answer the questions, you don't have too much time on the ones you don't feel sure about. Make a guess and go on. When you are answering your questions, you don't just stick to that question. You either answer it or not. No, you gotta go forward to the next ones, and at the end of the test, the reading section, if you have time, you go back to solve them. Okay, or just guess, write an answer, and then go. Make a small tick to the answer that you answered but you're not sure about. Make a small mark there, and then come back at the end and prove again. Okay. After you have answered all the questions, you can go back and check the ones you aren't sure about. This is what I already said. Spend no more than 20 minutes on each passage or section. Okay. And we will see this is not even accurate. These are general advices, okay, that the IELTS books say, the formal IELTS books say, and the formal exam website, like British Council and IDB, these are their advices, but we have our own as well. So the last passage is longer and more complex than the first two. Okay, the last one is always more complex and longer. So you will have to save time for it. that's why this time format doesn't work for all students, or for most of them. Be sure to write your answers on the answer sheet, okay, before the 60 minutes are up. You will not have extra time to transfer your answers. So you'll have to save time, 5 minutes, at least 5 minutes to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. Because if you don't, you're going to transfer the letter of the answer. You're going to write complete answers, and then you will transfer letter. And if there is something written, you will have to write it as well on the answer paper. And you have to transfer them accurately. You shouldn't make mistakes while transferring, because some people, because they are panicking at the last 3 minutes, and they are transferring at the last 2 or 3 minutes, they got the answer right on the exam paper, but when transferring, they made mistakes. So you have to make sure you are saving at least 5 to 6 minutes for transferring your answers. And if you don't transfer them at all, you got basically 0, okay, in the reading section. Number 9, if the instructions ask you to use no more than 3 words to complete an answer, do not write more than 3 words. 3 words means maximum 3 words. It could be 2, but maximum 3 words, not 4. 2 words, it could be 1, but can't be 3. Okay, so learn to understand true, false, and yes, no questions. They are the most difficult questions on the test, even though they seem easy, and yeah, they are just true, false, but they are the most tricky ones. They are the most difficult questions. So we will have to practice them often so that you get confident doing them during the test. So what else reading tests? It doesn't matter a lot, but let's know them. Okay, so it tests your fast skimming. We'll know what's skimming like later. You may already be familiar with skimming. I don't know. Accurate scanning. So skimming and scanning are 2 very important skills for IELTS. We'll go through them later. Paraphrase recognition, whether you can recognize paraphrases, different meanings of the same word or not. Logical questions, when you text matching, when you are you're matching the text or matching a text to the paragraph, okay? And whether you can manage your time, whether you can control your time. 60 minutes, 3 passages, 40 questions. Handling academic texts under pressure. So all of these are tested through the IELTS test, but we don't care that much. So as you see, the tips from the British Council and the IDB, they say you have to spend 20 minutes on each passage, but that does not work very well, because the first passage, as we said, is the easiest one. And so you have to spend around 15 minutes on it or something. The second one is more difficult than the first and less difficult than the third. So you will have to give it around 20 minutes. Plan for that. Plan for 15 minutes for the passage 1 and 20 minutes for the passage 2 and 25 minutes for 3. So let's look at a real IELTS test. So here, this is the IELTS test. When you go into the IELTS, when it starts, you will start with the listening, firstly. The listening is the first one, and it will take you around 30 minutes for the listening. And you will have 10 minutes to transfer your answers for the listening. Then, will you have a break after the listening? No, 0 break. There is no break. You will directly start the reading. And the reading takes 60 minutes, okay? Once you finish it, you will directly be introduced to the writing, which takes 60 minutes as well. So the reading falls between the writing and the listening. And to do, you have to just prepare for the IELTS. On the day of the IELTS, you have the day before the IELTS day, you have to sleep well. You have to, free your mind from all the stress and the stuff. Before the test, have to arrive the test center early. If you want to go to the bathroom, if you want to eat, if you want to drink coffee, whatever, you have to do everything and be calm before at least 1 hour or 30 minutes maximum before the test. You have to be completely set for the test and ready to go. So the reading comes after the listening, takes 1 hour. Okay, they will give you instructions here that you don't have to open the booklet until you are told to do so. So you will be told when to open the booklet. Okay, and you'll have to write your name and candidate number in the space at the top of this page. Okay, here you will have a candidate number and you will have to write your name. Start at the beginning of the test and walk through it. They actually don't care about this. This is just an instruction. You starting with the beginning is not their business. Starting at the beginning, and so you should answer all questions. Also, this is obvious. If you cannot do a particular question, leave it and go on to the next. Okay, you can return to it later. These are all tips for you to just work well on your test. All answers must be written on the answer sheet. The answer sheet can be found. Yeah, this is just on this book, or on the booklet of the exam itself. Will be at the end. Okay, the answer sheet. Do not remove the booklet from the examination room. Doesn't matter. So as we said, 40 questions and divided into reading reading basic 1. It will have questions from 1 to 13. So these questions will be answered from reading basic 1. Okay, reading basic 2 will have the questions from 14 to 26. So from here, all of these questions will be answered from reading basic 2. Reading basic 3 will have questions 25, 27 to 40. So there is 14 questions that should be answered from reading basic 3, which is the longest one. So this is how the test. This is how the test is presented. So they will write for you here. You should spend around 20 minutes on question 1 to 13, but you shouldn't. Okay, you shouldn't spend 20. You should spend maximum 15 on the basic 1, reading basic 1. So as I said, things, the basic title could be something strange, peculiar for you. Okay, Ordonata. Yeah, you may not know what is Ordonata, and then you panic. Oh my God, what is that? And now they are explaining the first. What is it in the first sentence? Okay, so you don't have to panic or care a lot about the title. So this is an example of basic 1 from the real exam. Okay, you will have the questions here below it, and so later we will go through the techniques. How do we answer the questions, and do we write the whole passage, or do we read the whole passage, or there is another way? Okay, so and these questions from 7 to 13, all of these questions are answered from the first passage. All right, then we will go into passage 2. They are saying here you should spend about 20 minutes, and yeah, it's fine here to spend 20 minutes on these questions. Okay, this is the second one. Will be more complex. History of fire fighting and prevention. Right, it'll be more complex than the first one, and usually longer than the first one. Okay, longer. So you will have questions based on it from 14 to 20. As you see here in the question, they say complete the chart below. Use no more. You have to pay attention to this. No more than 3 words from the text, right? So we have to be careful. So you will have to fill here the gaps with from 1 to 3 words, grammatically correct. The spelling should be also accurate. You'll have the questions from 21 to 23. Okay, here choosing the correct letters from A to C. All right, and questions from 24 to 26, yes, no, not given. Make sure. Is it true, false, not given, or yes, no, not given? Not given is your friend. Not given is your friend. Okay? Why? Because you have to pay attention to her, to not given. Okay? Sometimes most of the questions are not given. Most of the information. The reading basic 3, which has to take you around 25 minutes. Okay, you will have to give it your last 25 minutes, and then the time to transfer your answers should be discounted from all of these ones. Okay, like this is the logical the logical arrangement of your time or management of your time, but yeah, the transfer your answers should take you around 5 minutes, so should be discounted from this. Okay, this is not going to be accurately done. Like it's not going to be like 25 and 20 like 20. It depends. Okay, but you have to plan for this. You have to plan for this time frame. So basic 3 is going to be more complex. The topic is going to be more confusing maybe and longer than the previous 2 passages. Okay, it's going to be longer, and the questions will be the most difficult as well in basic 3. The most difficult in the test, the more difficult than the questions for basic 1 and basic 2. Yeah, you have question type like list. Okay, list that you'll have to choose. True, false, not given. You see, up there it was yes, no, not given. Here it's true, false, not given. So this is generally an overview of the reading test. It's not that difficult. It takes just some techniques and some practice to get easier.